Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Katie, and today I will be teaching a mini parenting class to all of you. This class is fine for parents, children, even if you're not a parent. As long as you're a human being, I feel that there's a lot that you could learn today, or a little bit that you can learn today. So, welcome. I would like to share that I did an amazing, life-changing parent education training back in 2007, 2008. And this beautiful, gentle, peaceful curriculum was authored by Ruth Beaglehole and her daughter, Susan Beaglehole Goldberg. These two women created a beautiful uh, parenting philosophy that changed my life, and I'm so excited about it that I am willing to push through my screen phobia to share it with all of you. So I will just be posting these parenting mini classes every Monday, and I hope that you find them useful. Okay, so today I'm going to share this statement that I would like for you to just soak in, and I will say it 2 times. Okay, everyone is doing the best they can with what they know and where they are in their emotional development. Everyone is doing the best they can with what they know and where they are in their emotional development. Okay, so I will use a first example as a little child, let's say a 3-year-old who is struggling with sharing a toy. Sometimes us parents will shame or punish a child who is not sharing a toy. However, if we think about this statement, everyone is doing the best they can with what they know and where they are in their emotional development, we would know that a 3-year-old child, generally speaking, 3-year-old children do struggle with sharing. In this stage of their development, they are working on themselves. They are not focused on the other. They are developing themselves, which is quite the journey, isn't it? I am still developing myself at age 55. I am still working on myself. So knowing that this child is doing the best they can, punishment and shaming and all of this, there's no place for that. And actually, there is no place for punishment and shaming in parenting at all. We parents, we teachers, grandparents, caregivers, we can gently lead these children towards adulthood and be connected with them in a loving, gentle way. And we can talk to them and share with them our perspective and how we treat people in a gentle way. Do you want a more peaceful world? Would you like to be part of creating a more peaceful world? Let's start in our homes with our children. Let's start in our communities with the children. Let's start in our classrooms with the children. And so let's think about this statement again. Everyone is doing the best they can with what they know and where they are in their development. I can share that I think maybe 20 years ago, I was supposed to meet a friend for breakfast and I slept in. I then my cell phone was ringing and it was already a half hour past the time I had agreed to meet my friend. And my friend was crying and frustrated and insulted and embarrassed and humiliated at this restaurant because she had waited and waited and waited for me. She was doing the best she could, and I was doing the best I could as well. Was not purposely not showing up for our breakfast date. I got dressed in a hurry and rushed to the restaurant and got there in 10 minutes after her phone call. She had packed up her food. She was crying and she was so upset with me. And in that moment, she was assuming that I purposely left her there to be humiliated and embarrassed. And I was so sad too that she assumed that in me because it wasn't true. And so that day, I realized that we all have choices. We can be graceful with others, we can offer grace, or we can assume the worst. And friends, the only thing we can control is ourselves. And the only perspective that we can change is ourselves. So since that day when I was late for my friend, I have probably had about 5 times since then have had the same thing happen to me, where I've waited and waited for someone, and I give them about 30 minutes, and then I will text or call them. And then they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I've forgotten." And I said, "That's okay. Things happen. Let's schedule again." And I offer them grace. I usually order an iced tea and I sit and wait. And I tell myself to wait and be calm for 30 minutes and to offer them grace if this has happened. Because I think about my friend and I think about how upset she was and how that really forever changed our relationship and actually damaged our relationship, where right now our relationship is very not as close and very thin. So thinking about how we can always assume the best in our friends, in our family, in our workmates, in the people around us, with the children, and realize that sometimes our needs are greater. Meeting our needs is a greater pressing thing to do than to be on time at a meeting. My need for sleep was so great that day that I slept right through the time that I was supposed to get up and get ready to go. My friend's need for connection was so great that she assumed that I did not want a connection with her. So our needs and our feelings can dictate the choices we make. And yet, if we can stop, breathe, and decide to offer someone grace, to believe that everyone is doing the best they can with what they know and where they are in their development, I believe that this will make your life happier and other people's lives happier, more peaceful. If we can offer each other grace, if we can be loving and gentle with each other and assume the best. Thank you, and I will see you again next week. Have a lovely day.